And for more on this, we're joined by Emily Brooks. She's a staff writer with our media partners at The Hill, covering politics in the U.S. House of Representatives. Emily, thank you so much for joining us on Capper Review. So you wrote a piece on the evolving relationship between McCarthy and Jeffries. McCarthy calls it 1,000% better than his relationship with the former Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. So what's different in this relationship so far? Why the big change?
Well, the biggest change is that there is much of a working relationship at all between the two different party leaders in the House of Representatives. I mean, it was quite a toxic relationship between former Speaker Pelosi and then Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Republicans would frequently complain that they were left out of key briefings and negotiations on legislation. And, Pelosi once called McCarthy a moron over his stance on mask mandates and comments about that. And McCarthy reportedly once joked that he would bang Speaker Pelosi on the head with a gavel once he took it from her. So that, is pretty toxic. In contrast, we're seeing McCarthy and Leader Jeffries now are frequently spotted meeting with each other off of the House floor. They're working together on the China Select Committee, and they, have thanked each other for participation and working on a bipartisan basis. And so these are all, of course, a bit of minor steps. It's not like they're best friends, and there are still stark differences on a lot of policies and political styles as well, but definitely a change from what we've seen with Pelosi and McCarthy.
And it would seem logical, right, that our leaders should work through differences and get things done that Americans want to see, the ideal version of politics at least. Is there any chance of that happening here, given this new relationship, or do you think House Republicans plan to stall until 2024?
Well, there is a lot of optimism on both sides of the aisle on that China Select Committee, as I mentioned, and working on a bipartisan basis to maybe come up with some legislation that addresses not only some international concerns, but also issues like China buying up agricultural lands in the United States. There is also, even though there has not agreement on what should be done as far as spending cuts with the looming debt limit deadline later this year, Speaker McCarthy invited the Congressional Budget Office director to give a briefing to House members about the state of the budget. And Leader Jeffries participated in that and brought along his members for that as well. And in fact, Speaker McCarthy and Majority Leader Steve Scalise thanked him in press conference after that briefing. So there are, some small areas where there could be cooperation. The Silicon Valley bank collapse is another area where Leader Jeffries said that he hopes to work on a bipartisan basis to address any concerns from that.
And you touched on this a little bit. What about the other House members, Democrats and Republicans? Are you seeing any kind of reconciliation happening after a bitter couple of years of politics?
Well, I wouldn't say there's been a massive shift by any means. There is still stark polarization, not only in the country, but in the House of Representatives. Besides those few areas, a lot of the major issues of the day, such as abortion, such as energy policies. There are a lot of differences between Republicans and Democrats. However, they are going to have to work together on a lot of, more not as headline grabbing issues, but issues like reauthorization of the Federal Aviation Administration is up due this year. Also, the Farm Bill is this year, dealing with agricultural funding and issues, and normal government funding and military funding. So those are more under the radar, but there's still definitely a lot happening there.